Let's solve some equations. Now, when solving equations, you've learned to do the opposite of the order of operations. Go backwards because you're working towards inside the problem to get the variable, which means first you get rid of any addition, subtraction, then you get rid of any multiplication, division. What you need to remember is it is important during this to show your work. The reason why is the further we go in Algebra 2, the more difficult the problems we get. And we need this foundation of showing work to make those ones easier. So let's start with 3y plus 16 equals 22. Get rid of any addition, subtraction first. You're going to subtract 16 from both sides. So 3y, 22 minus 16 is 6. Now you divide out your coefficient of 3. And so 6 divided by 3 is 2. So y equals 2. Pretty easy one to start off with. Let's look at number 2. 34 minus 10w equals 6w plus 2. Now in this problem, we have a variable on both sides, same variable w and w on both sides of the equation. So we're going to move them to the same side. I prefer to move my variables so I have a positive coefficient. So I'm going to add 10w to both sides. That'll cancel out here. So 34 equals 16w plus 2. Now I can get rid of my addition by subtracting 2 from this side and 2 from over here. So 34 minus 2 is 32. So 32 equals 16w. And now divide by your coefficient of 16. 32 divided by 16 is 2. So 2 equals w. Our variable w equals 2. Now let's try the harder problems. You have here 1/8 minus 3/4 x equals 16. Now there are multiple ways to do these problems. A lot of students see this problem and they get intimidated because of all the fractions. But you still follow the same order. Fractions are numbers, so you do the same thing. And we're going to do this problem in 2 different ways. Let's do the way that uses the same approach we did before. Get rid of anything you're adding or subtracting. So this is a positive 1/8. So I'm going to subtract 1/8 from both sides. That's going to cancel out the 1/8 here. So I'm left with my negative 3/4 x. Now we need to be careful when you are subtracting 1/8 from 1/16, you need a common denominator. So 1/16 minus the common denominator of 8 and 16 is 16. So then you're going to multiply by 2 on the top, which gives you 2. 2 on the bottom gives me 16. So 1/16 minus 2/16 is negative 1/16. The next step is to get rid of our coefficient. Now don't divide by a fraction. It's going to lead to errors in the future. What you do is you multiply by the reciprocal. Flip it, 4 over negative 3. Do it to the other side, 4 over negative 3. These cancel, and you're left with x equals, multiply across the top, negative 4, multiply across the bottom, negative 48. A negative and a negative is a positive, so we simplify it and we get 1/12. So x equals 1/12. Now we're going to examine how to do this problem differently. So I'm going to take this, shrink it down, move it over, give me some room. Now the other way to do the problem, students don't like fractions. And so what you can do is you can find the common denominator of all of the denominators, 8, 4, and 16. The common denominator is 16. So what I can do is multiply the left side and the right side by 16. And so when I distribute that in, you're going to take 16 times 1 and then divide by 8, which gives us 2. You're going to take 16 times 3, divide by 4. So 16 times 3 is 48, divided by 4 is 12. So I have minus 12x. And then I'm going to do 16 times 1, divided by 16, which is just 16, divided by 16. So that gives me 1. So now I have an equation here that doesn't have fractions. I eliminated them because maybe I'm not confident with them, but I'm confident with finding a common denominator. And so now all I would do is subtract 2 from both sides. I get negative 12x equals negative 1. When I divide both sides by negative 12, a negative is a positive. I get x equals 1/12. Same answer as before. So there's multiple ways to approaching problems. And we'll quickly go over the last one. What you want to do before you start moving objects is make sure the sides are simplified. So you would distribute 4.5b plus 4.5 minus 2 equals 4b plus 12. Combine like terms here, so you get 4.5b plus 2.5 equals 4b plus 12. Now move the variables to the same side. So I'm going to subtract 4b. So I get 0.5b plus 2.5 equals 12. So now I subtract 2.5. So I get 0.5b equals 9.5. And when I divide by 0.5, I get b equals 19. And so my answer here is b equals 19. So these are the examples on how we solve equations.